Well, Trump, that is strike one. What's up, guys? How we doing today? Hope y'all are doing fantastic. That's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about Donald Trump has hit strike one with me. But anyway, that's what we're going to talk about. I'll be right back. All right. So, and this is just me just ranting a little bit. I'm just going on a little bit of a rant. I don't have any notes, or I'm not reading any articles this time. It's just me ranting a little bit. But I did a video a few weeks ago or a month or so ago. Somebody had asked me why I was voting against my wishes and my desires. And I put on a video about that, about what did I actually vote for and why did I actually vote for Trump? And to be fair, I've supported Trump. I've kind of liked Trump and supported him even before he even went down the little staircase deciding he was going to even run for president. I was in business school, and in business school, if you're getting into business, then that's kind of one of those guys you kind of look up to, and they use him as an example a lot when they're talking about business because he could negotiate deals, and he borrowed a bunch of money from his dad or whatever, $1 million and whatever. But look what he turned that into, and he's made a very, very good success out of himself because he can negotiate deals, and he can. So even at that, I've supported him like long before he even ran for president. So I thought, oh, cool, he's running for president, and I liked what he was about, what he was running on, but what I voted for was, for one, safety, security, my family, safety and security of my family, and more money in my paycheck. And sorry, like I said, I got no notes. I'm just ad-libbing here. And I wanted to drain the swamp. Those were three things. And guns. I had my guns. I wanted better gun rights. I wanted to be able to, do more with guns. Because the Democrats, they may not say it, they may not admit it, but they're trying to take our guns away. Is even every little teeny bit at a time, they're trying to take them away. And I've got my thoughts on guns, and I've talked about that before, and things that I've been called anti-2A because of it, and but say what you will, but what's up, guys? Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to jump on real quick and do a quick shout out to the sponsors of this video, which is first and foremost, the Lord above, the creator of the universe. Without him, none of us are anything. We're all nothing. And secondly, I wanted to shout out to the subscribers of this channel, because without the subscribers, this channel's nothing. And we're growing slowly, but we're growing. And I get between like 1 and 10 new subscribers every day. So I see every single one, and every one I appreciate. It's amazing to me that I even have as many as I do. But my goal for the year is 8,000. So if we can get that by the end of 25, that would be awesome. And if those of you that have subscribed, again, thank you so much. You're the life of this channel. And those of you that haven't subscribed, if you want to, maybe not right now, but if you want to watch for a few more minutes, and then if you want to
go ahead, make my day.
Yeah, if you want to go ahead and subscribe, that would be fantastic. But again, it's up to you. If you feel like it, if you feel like you're getting anything out of this, I'm working on a few things that I'm going to come up with some new videos and some new ideas that might help you out a little bit. But anyway, again, appreciate y'all. Love you. Back to your show. My guns, my money, my safety, and drain the swamp. That's pretty much what I voted for. That's the reason why I voted for Trump. And so far, he's done pretty good. He's delivered. He's been delivering. He's been getting peace deals. He's been negotiating good deals. Yeah, I know all these people with their tariffs and they're going to jack all the prices up, but really prices have been coming down. Our economy is starting to get booming again. Inflation is down to right where it should be, which was way lower than it was for any given time during Biden's administration. Whether you want to believe it or not, or admit it or not, it's lower than it was at any time in Biden's 4-year term. Gas prices are coming down, actually quite considerably. Grocery prices, everything's coming down. Some of it may not be very noticeable yet, but it is starting to come down. And with this big, beautiful bill that they passed, which he's 1 for 1 on that one for me. I'm not really big on the healthcare deal with that one because I don't get Medicaid, so it doesn't really concern me. I don't get food stamps, doesn't really concern me. I mean, I've done comments and videos on that about you should have empathy for people that are going to be losing it. Well, if it's done correctly, I know there's different states but if it's done correctly, the only people that will lose it are the ones that shouldn't qualify for it. If it's done correctly, but it won't be because the states, and then they're going to blame it on Trump because technically what happens is the federal government passes the budget and then they allocate the funds to the states, and then the states allocate the money to the people that need it. So the states are going to come in and say, because of the cuts, now you have to lose it. You blame Donald Trump for it. It's not Donald Trump's fault for that. That's not a Donald Trump thing. That's the states thing, because the states are the ones that they're choosing the people that qualify. So, and that doesn't really concern me because I haven't been qualified for that in a while. And if you want my honest opinion, I don't want to be qualified for it. That was one of the best days of my life, was when I found out I no longer qualified for food stamps and Medicaid, because the whole goal of preparedness and all this is to be independent of the system. It's broken. The system is broken, and the less we have to rely on it and depend on it and be supported by it, the better off we are. And if everybody had that same kind of an attitude, it would flow a lot smoother, and we wouldn't be so dependent on the system, and they wouldn't have so much power and so much control over us if we had that kind of an attitude where I'm not gonna do that. So that really wasn't a big concern about me on the bill. What was obviously the tax breaks. I know there's a lot of people out there that it's only a tax break for the rich. Well, no, it's not. It's a tax break for every single tax bracket. I don't care, from the top to the bottom, it's a tax break. It only goes to the rich. No, it doesn't only go to the rich. Come on, use your brain here. It's a tax break for everyone. No taxes on tips. How does that help the rich? By no taxes on tips. No taxes on overtime. How does that affect the rich? Do you think the rich work overtime? Do you think the rich billionaires work off tips? How does that help them at all? Explain to me down in the comments. Explain to me how that helps the rich. And I also had another comment about the SNAP program. People are losing their food stamps because, you know what, food stamps, they help some of these local farmers. I respectfully disagree with that, and it might to some degree, but if you're on food stamps or SNAP or whatever you want it, whatever you call it, I'll call it food stamps because that's technically that's the layman's term for it, is food stamps. You're not going to go to your local farm to buy your groceries. You're going to go to the cheapest place you can possibly find groceries, which is Walmart. And what is Walmart? Walmart's one of those big, huge corporations that are supposedly getting all these tax breaks. So how is that helping these big corporations? How is cutting the SNAP program down a little bit, how is that helping the rich people? I understand it's hurting some people, but then you've got these people that, like this lady on TikTok, she came on and I'm losing my $4,000 a month in food stamps, and they're no longer paying 90% of my rent unless I sell my 2024 BMW that I paid cash for with my TikTok money. Does that lady need $4,000 in food stamps? No, not at all. And this is the kind of people that are going to be losing it. Okay, this is the kind of people that deserve to lose it, not the ones that actually need it. It's these people that have been abusing it. And then you hear the argument about, well, hospitals in these smaller towns, in these red states, these smaller towns, they're going to be closing. Well, they did that to themselves because of greed. Because they depend on Medicaid and Medicare and all that. These hospitals, they really depend on that. So by cutting that, they're going to be closing. Let me share a little story with you. When my first wife, was having our second child, she had to have a C-section. And about a week later, she had to go back because she had staph infection. Had to spend a week in the hospital. We were on Medicaid at that time. We actually qualified at that time, but we were on Medicaid. So she had to, the doctor, they had to do a C-section. And the first one, she had some insurance, so we didn't have to use Medicaid. We had both. We had her insurance and a slight bit of Medicaid. It was kind of a half and half deal. And she had to have a C-section, the first one too, but the doctor, everything went off without a hitch. They put a drain in her so that they could drain out all that fluid. But the second doctor with our second child, when we were on Medicaid and we were in a small town, like they say, these hospitals in small towns are going to close. It was a small town, but she had to go back for staph infection. And she spent another week in the hospital, and then, all the medical stuff. I had to undo and clean and rebandage her incision twice a day. But he didn't put a drain in it, so she got staph infection. Excuse me. She got staph infection. And we just thought, oh, dang, that sucks. Man, horrible, horrible. And then as we started sharing our story with other people around that town, we found out that same thing happened to a lot of people. Was it coincidence? Could this doctor have just been not a very good doctor? He's been doing this for a long time. He's a doctor he was doing it for 30 plus years at that time. Is it coincidence that all these people that had the exact same thing happen to them? I would think not. I would think it's because of Medicaid, because, hey, if I don't put a drain in it, they come back for staph infection and more money coming in because we'll just bill Medicaid. Maybe that's just a conspiracy. I don't know. But I think it's just the hospital is abusing the system. Another thing, this is just another little story, but one of my kids kind of has some special needs, and he had like a wandering eye, and we kept taking him to the doctor, and they put a patch, gave him glasses and all that stuff. But over time, we'd go up there because we weren't in town because it was a specialist doctor, so we had to travel. We'd go up there, and the doctor would look at his eyes, and, well, everything's good. Come back and see me in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. We'd come back in 3 weeks, and everything's good. Come back and see me in 3 weeks. Everything's looking fine. Everything's looking good. And now that I'm not on Medicaid, or once I lost Medicaid and started paying for it with my works insurance, now it's everything looks good. Come back if you have a problem. If you start seeing a problem or whatever, come back and see me. Why is that? Why do you think that is? Because it's not Medicaid. If I was Medicaid, I'd be up there every 2 weeks. So they'd be like, come back, come back, come back. That's why hospitals are so dependent upon Medicaid, is because they've been abusing it for so long. And now that they're cutting Medicaid, yeah, they're going to close. They did it themselves. It's not Trump. It's not because of Trump. Trump didn't make them abuse the system. There's been people abusing it on both ends. The caregivers have been abusing it. The caretakers have been abusing it. So there's that. And the guns is another one, which I think he's doing okay on guns. He's not threatening to take them, obviously. Like, even our ever so scary, deadly weapon of war assault rifle AR-15. He's not messing with that. It's just a. But there was something in his bill that I was kind of disappointed in, but I don't think it was his fault, so I'm only giving him half a strike for that one. In fact, I shouldn't give him a strike at all because that was the Senate and then Congress for not putting it back in. But they took out the NFA things. Yeah, they cut the taxes off suppressors, but we still have to register them. We have to register a piece of metal that screws on to the end of a gun. Not happy about that. I was going to go buy one. I was starting to look at them, they're going to come off the NFA. I can just go out and buy one. Don't have to register it. But now I have to register it. So it looks like I'm not buying one. It's not worth it to me. I don't need the government to know if I have a suppressor. Why should that matter that I have a suppressor, a silencer for one of my guns? Why should they care about that? It's not a firearm. But so anyway, enough of that, but that's kind of another one. But the one that really, it's a strike, where I said strike one, it's the draining the swamp. I mean, it's been a lot of talk, a lot of this, a lot of that, we've been finding all this fraud, we've been finding this, we've been finding that, we've been doing this, we've been doing that, and where's the accountability at? It's about the only thing that he hasn't done that he said he would do. He's draining the swamp. That was a big deal from his first term. It was a big deal this term. We're going to drain the swamp. We're going to get it. Nothing. These are the same type of people that tried to take his life. And I'm not saying he should do it out of revenge. I'm just saying he should do it because these are the same people that tried to take his life so that he couldn't drain the swamp, and now all of a sudden he's not draining the swamp. Like this whole Epstein thing. Kind of weird how they stopped it. They throw it under the rug. There's nothing to see here, folks. I mean, don't disregard everything that we've ourselves have said for years. Just disregard that. There's nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing to see here. He killed himself, and there's no client list. Period. There's nothing. So don't worry about it. We're good. All that stuff we said about earlier, that the files are on my desk and they're disgusting and people need to be held accountable and this and that and all these people, and now it's move along, people. There's nothing to see here, and it's kind of ridiculous. But that's my rant. I don't know what else to say, but that's what I voted for. I voted for draining the swamp, keep my guns, more money in my paycheck, and more safety, which is securing the border and not letting certain people in. And now, again, with immigration, I'm kind of both sides on the immigration thing. I don't think they should all just automatically be deported just because they're here illegally. Because being here illegally is technically a crime. And I know all these people, it's on stolen land anyway. We came in and stole the land anyway. Say what you want, but since then we've made laws, and it's not those ones that I think need to go right away. I mean, they may end up getting some of those along the way, which is unfortunate, I guess, but the criminals, the ones that are coming in here and murdering and bringing drugs and human trafficking and that, those are the ones that they just need to go straight off, get out of here, go. No due process, no nothing. They don't deserve that. They need to just go. They didn't come in here on due process, and then they kill people, they murder, they rape, they bring drugs, why do they deserve due process? Just go. Just get on out of here. Why should we spend our tax money on that? But the ones that have been here a while and that are legit trying to better their lives and that have been an actual helping with the economy and with society and paying their taxes I think they still need to go through the process like everybody else does. But do they just need to be straight deported? No, you take them, you gather them, I'm not saying you arrest them, however, whatever you want to call them, detain them, whatever, and take them to the center, which isn't a concentration camp. We're not mistreating them. We're just taking them there so they can get their vetting process going, so they can get there, so we can see who's here, and we can get the terrorists out of here. We can get the criminals out of here. We can get the gang members out of here, and the rest of them, we can start the vetting process. We can start the process of getting you legal. That's how I feel about immigration. I'm not for it, but I'm not against it either. I'm more on the side of, I don't mind immigrants. I work with a bunch of them. I don't know if they're here illegally or not, but I work with a bunch of them. I'm actually the minority at my work, and they're all cool. But they're not the criminals. It's the criminals that need to go. These guys, they work hard. They pay their taxes. They pay their dues. They work an honest day's work, and they're hard workers. But it's the few that ruin it for the many. That's one of my main talking points all the time is the few people ruin it for the many people. Like just the couple. Like with gun things. Like with the guns. Those few people that go out and commit these crimes with guns. Now they just want to take guns from everybody. How is that going to help? How is that going to fix any kind of problem? Because the law-abiding citizens aren't the ones out there committing crime. I mean, they may have bought them legally but why should the behavior of one or two people affect the rest of us? And those stupid people that negligently discharged, that don't know how to handle a gun, that accidentally shoot themselves or shoot somebody because they're playing around with their gun and they disobey the rules. That's another one of those, just because you can doesn't mean you should. I say that a lot too. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do it. Just because you can legally buy a gun doesn't mean you should have a gun. I mean, I'm not trying to say that it's not your right. It's your right to have it, but be responsible with it. Don't be dumb. Don't be stupid. There's a story here in Utah where a guy was just had his gun out, showing it to his friends or something, or showing it to people, showing it to somebody, and somehow he ended up shooting his 18-year-old stepson in the head and killing him. That's 3 rules. 3 of the universal rules that got broken. At least 3 that got broken. But, it is what it is, but those are the people that ruin it. Those are the people that just because you can, just because it's your legal right to, doesn't necessarily mean you should. Be responsible. But that's my little rant. I don't know what else to say on that. I think for the most part, Trump's doing a good job. And I don't think I don't know. I don't know why they're just throwing this Epstein deal under the rug and not, because that was one of the big deals, is we want to see who's on this list, and we need to get, because there's a lot of corruption going on, and we need to see who's on that list. But it just leads you to believe, or leads you to kind of wonder, why are they just all of a sudden just, nope, nothing happened. It's what they've said happened. Nothing, and he killed himself, and there's nothing going on. There's no list. There's no nothing. Probably because there's some big high up people on there that are involved in that. And I know as far as the left, they like to blame the billionaire elites. And in some ways, I think they're right. I mean, I'm not siding with them by any means, but I was watching, I think it was Valuetainment with Patrick Bet-David, or the PBD podcast or something like that. And one of his guys was come on and said, if you're in that situation where you know what you've got, you can see this list, you're looking at it, you see all the names on that list, you're going to make somebody mad. If you release it, somebody's going to be mad at you. If you don't release it, somebody's going to be mad at you. So who do you side with? Who do you piss off? And it just goes to show you that the system is broken. And yes, they accommodate those that fund them a lot. And I think there's a lot of scandals going on, a lot of, probably shouldn't say it, but people just all of a sudden getting deleted, and it claimed to be self-deletion. I don't buy all of it, but it's just randomly how just people, once something comes out, they all of a sudden they've deleted themselves. They break a story, or they say they're going to start talking, and all of a sudden they delete themselves. Kind of fishy, but like I said, if you're in that situation, I mean, who would you side with? I've got morals. I'm a devout Christian, and the Bible, if you're a Bible believer, the Lord does not do well with pedos. They just don't do it. The Lord does not deal with that very, very well. I don't even know the scripture to tell you where to go find it, but somewhere in there, I'm still going through the Bible. If you haven't seen my videos, I am reading it and I'm working on it, but it's probably a New Testament right now. I'm working on the Old Testament, but in some words, I could probably have the wordings off, but it says if you hurt one of these children, you'd be better off at the bottom of the ocean with a millstone around your neck or something like that. So think of that as what you will, but I think they need to be dealt with accordingly. I don't care if they're rich. I don't care if they're elites. I don't care who they are. If they're in on it, they need to be held accountable. I mean, due process, whatever, but we need to start seeing some actual drainage of the swamp, because it's a swamp, and it has been. It's not a secret. It's a swamp. Whatever side you're on, it's a swamp. If you're on the left and you really believe in the left, you consider the right a swamp. Those that are on the right think the left's a swamp. It's a swamp. They're both different wings on the same stupid bird, and that's the problem. It's not neither one. They're both crooked. They're both corrupt. We just need to get it out of there. We're starting to get some states that are in favor of term limits in Senate and Congress at the federal level, which I would support totally. If the problem is, the only way that would ever happen is if it's actually on the ballot for people to vote for, because the government doesn't work for us. They do what they want to do. They're not there to represent us. They're there to to gain power and money. But anyway, I'm just rambling. That's my rant for the day. Trump's on strike one. And what he said, I mean, he came into that comment and he was basically, are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? We've been having a lot going on. We've got some big wins, and we've got this Texas floods, and you're still talking about Epstein? Yeah, we are still talking about Epstein. So that's your strike one. The Senate has a strike one. So I'm still not changing my vote. I'm still not going over to the left. I'll never do that. I'd go independent or the third party or this new Elon's party or something before I go to the left. There's no way I'm going there. I won't stoop that low. But, and I know it's hard. Put yourself in that situation, like legit reality. Put yourself in that situation. If you've got those files in front of you, what would you do? Would you release them and piss off the elites? Or would you hold them back and piss off the grunts, the scum? I mean, either way, you're either pissing off your voters or you're pissing off your funders. Tough call. But anyway, enough of that rambling. Do the YouTube stuff if you feel like it. Appreciate y'all. Wouldn't be here, wouldn't be doing this without you. I really couldn't. And again, trying to get to that 8,000 by the end of the year. We're getting close, but still got a ways to go. But again, appreciate you. Love you. We'll see you in the next one.